Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Virgo in April 2020. What is going on, Virgo? How are you guys doing? I hope that you are doing well. All right, my Virgoans, my sixth house beauties. How are you guys doing, man? Hopefully you're staying safe in the middle of this pandemic that we're all facing at this time, or many of us are facing, I should say. Over 170 something countries have been hit with the coronavirus to a certain degree. And whatever you're doing, I hope that you're staying safe and you're practicing, whatever you can help to combat the virus. If you're out there serving on the front lines in the medical field, first responders or anything like that, or if you are just at home, staying under quarantine, helping to flatten that curve, continue to do that work, okay? I would love to see this wrapped up sooner rather than later, but, at least where I am, we're riding this thing out to the end of until the end of April. So hopefully you're able to keep your head in that time, because I know it's really hard for so many of us to have to, stay in place and see such a change to our routines, and especially dear Virgo, you sixth house beauty, you, as I just randomly decided to call you, the house of daily routines, the house of order, or scheduling, and to I know you guys are struggling. And I'm not laughing at you. It's just I can feel it in your energy. You're not having the best of time during this pandemic and during these stay-at-home orders. And it's a lot for you guys to take on, but I trust that you're going to be able to push through, okay? All right, let's get into your reading, shall we? Virgo, I have shuffled off camera. That's your main spread there. I will shuffle on camera now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that's when the reading begins. Timestamp is in the description box below if you want to jump ahead. Also in the description box is all the information you need if you want to get a personal reading with me. If you have a question before you actually place an order, feel free to email me at the same address. I'll answer you as soon as I can. And new to the intro here is that your girl is on Instagram. If you were looking at the beginning of the video, you already know that, but I'm going to pop up a little graphic right about there so you can see it again. I do daily oracle pulls on that platform. So I pull a card from one of my oracle decks, I interpret it intuitively, and so that's what I'm doing on there as of yet. I think eventually maybe I'll do some lives over there, see how it compares to doing them here on YouTube. So if you are randomly scrolling through Instagram and you want to see something from me, go ahead and again drop me a follow at EmpathicFire Tarot. Okay. All right, guys, let's get into it. Let me see Virgo's outcome for April 2020. Virgo's outcome for April 2020, please show me. Why is everybody's outcome so hard to get? All of these spreads have come so easily, but when it comes to getting the outcome, it's taking forever. That's so interesting. I'm going to have to start. Yeah, okay. Let me not talk about that. Outcome for Virgo in April 2020. Show me or stop me, please. Okay, thank you. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. Let's flip what came face down so we see the full picture, because we're going to have to make a whole story out of this. I'm going to have to see what's up. Okay? All right, Virgo, let's get into it. Please show me Virgo in April 2020. Please show me where Virgo is in April 2020. Please show me. Okay. Very forceful. A little forceful, but I'll take it. It was like it was a little forceful. That's all I'm going to say. My guides are getting a little rough in the past day or two, so let's get into it, Virgo. Coming into April, you come in with the energy of the Ace of Swords. Big old truths, big old clarity, big old discussions and conversations that you or someone possibly doesn't want to have, but are incredibly necessary. I get the sense that, if this is a conversation between two people, two sides of a disagreement maybe, or an issue, or just, even just casual discussions between you and your friends, whatever it is, I feel one side is like a little guarded, the other side is less guarded, and ultimately something needs to be revealed here, or maybe not needs to be revealed, but there is something that could be revealed. Let's say it that way. Because I do feel resistance either from you or from another person. It's a general, it could be you, it could be the other person. Take it how it resonates. Yeah. Um, clarity, like there is something that someone understands about themselves, about the situation between you, about a certain uh, context or situation elsewhere. There's just some understanding that is coming down like a brick wall or like a waterfall on someone's head. Like, I'm seeing both images. Okay. I'm seeing like the silent movie era where or like something like Jackass, where people are like literally hit over the head with like heavy objects, like a brick, like a cinder block, I guess. And I'm also seeing people, when you stand under a waterfall, I mean, sometimes it can be pleasant, but the force of the water is very apparent. So there's something that's coming down so hard on a person's head, or I guess the more appropriate way to interpret that is through the crown chakra. If you know anything about chakras, or if you don't know anything, I should say, go ahead and Google chakras, the crown chakra. It's at the top of your head, the crown of your head, right? And that's where you get downloads. That's or how you get downloads from the universe, from God, from whatever you believe in or don't believe in. It's the tether between you and, your higher self, or the higher powers that be, gods, angels, aliens, whatever you believe in or don't believe in. Okay. And I feel that's coming in like it's crashing down on somebody, and it's coming attached to talk. It's coming attached to speech. It's coming attached to the possibility, as this is just an ace. It is not guaranteed. It has to be taken up, and it has to be, utilized. Yeah. So there is a call to speak, to talk, to clear the air, to clarify, to get real, to be honest, to be forthright. On your part, on someone else's part, I can't really tell just yet. But it's like here. It's here. Right now. Wow. They're like, right now. Do it. Whoa. That was them. Do it. That part, do it. That's them. My guides are saying, do it. Because again, I do sense that there has been restriction or reluctance or some type of avoidance of having a certain discussion, or a certain realization. Thank you. Because for some of you, this is personal. For some of you, this is something that you hold within yourself, and you've been resistant to acknowledging it. And it's like hitting you like a ton of bricks. It's hitting you like a hammer on the top of the head. And I hate to keep using like all these violent, analogies, but it's the forcefulness is what they're trying to transmit to me, trying to get me to convey to you. It's the forcefulness of how it has been in your face, like plunging or drilling into your subconscious, drilling into, oh my God, it's just like, you already know this. See, I don't know. And when I picked this card up, I told you it was like a little aggressive, or it was like a little like forceful or something, whatever I said. This is coming through your guides via my guides, whether you are in touch with your guides or not. I assume many of you are like knocking on your door, ringing your bell, calling you up, sliding into your DMs, trying to get messages to you, and you're ignoring it. Whoever is resistant, could be you, Virgo, could be someone else. I don't know. I'm saying it's you just to save face, or not to save face, but to make it easier, to keep it kind of straight. But remember, this could be reversed. These messages, these insights, these downloads, these synchronicities are just coming at you left and right, and you ignore it. Why are you ignoring this? That's just a general question that I'm just like, I don't get it. Because I think it serves you, or would behoove you, in the long run to just take this opportunity, this Ace of Swords, and run with it. Take this chance to get clear on a situation, to get clear with another person, to hear someone speak honestly to you. Maybe that's it. Okay, that's interesting. That's a round, not a roundabout way, but that's a sort of turn that I wasn't expecting. It could be some of you are having like selective hearing. Maybe some of you are meant to receive a message, receive someone coming to you and expressing how they feel, expressing what they're thinking, and you have resisted that. Someone may be asking you, Virgo, can we sit down and talk? Do you have time to meet with me? Do you have time for us to have a conversation on the phone? And you have been like, ignoring it. This is here. Again, aces are chances, opportunities. They're not guarantees. Just because it shows up in a tarot reading doesn't mean it is going to happen. It has to be seized. It has to be taken up and utilized properly, or seen as an actual opportunity and not as a punishment or a demerit or some type of strike against you. I feel someone is feeling that way, that this conversation, this truth, this clarity, this realization, these synchronicities, these downloads, they're meant to hurt me. They're meant to mess me up in some type of way. And Virgo, I don't know who that is. It could be you, could be someone else. I don't know. But it feels as though that is, that's difficult. Because what I'm sensing is a partnership, a dynamic between friends, family, lovers, whatever it is, that is meant to be amicable, meant to be copacetic, and it's not right now. Things are off. Things are not gelling the way they need to gel, and that is because of, excuse me. Okay. All right then. Okay. That doesn't happen to me often, but when it does, I definitely should acknowledge it. That was a little bit of a punch or a closing of the throat chakra. So when it's time to talk, someone clams up. When it's time to listen, someone plugs their ears. Someone buries their head in the sand. There is a definite avoidance of communication here. On your part, their part, both of you or all of you, whoever's involved, I don't know just yet, but that is apparent here, and that is deserving. That is deserving in the long run. In the moment, maybe it's fine because, somebody has a headache, somebody, is preoccupied, they have other things they have to take care of, and they keep delaying or they keep rescheduling or whatever it is. That makes sense. That makes sense in the now. However, what I'm feeling is this is whatever is being discussed or needs to be revealed or you're coming into some type of personal realization about, it has been going on, building up over time, stacking and stacking and stacking and building and accruing. I'm glad you can't see me. Wow. Okay. This is so interesting. And I've asked for this. If I'm honest with you, Virgo, I've asked, in my personal spiritual journey, I got lots of things, well, not lots of things, but I got things going on, spiritually speaking. And I have things going on in my personal life too that I'm just like, I don't know what to do, but I want to refocus my energy and do something practical. So I've asked practically to enhance myself over the past few months. I'm like, okay, let's do more with my abilities. Let's enhance that. And how it has come through, I apparently am I get physical symptoms. And this actually, little anecdote about Jay, your friendly tarot reader here. I have always had sympathy pains or sympathy physical responses. So, God, here's what I find to be a big revelation about myself is, let's say I see someone on the street or passing by wherever I am, and they are missing like fingers or they're missing a leg. I get pain in my body when I see that. Not to say that I view this person as being in pain or not to say that they're in pain or anything like that. It's just my body, the way I am as an empathic person is I can feel this sensation in my body. And I'm sure that's not exclusive to me or exclusive to empathic people. But I say that to kind of illustrate what was happening here. I don't even know what the hell I was just talking about. When I dropped the crystal here, I covered my eyes with my hands. I covered my eyes. And what happened before? My throat got closed. So my throat was closed. So that's another way of covering the mouth, right? And then I mentioned someone doesn't want to hear something. Someone doesn't want to receive the downloads. So they stick their fingers in their ears, right? So that's not seeing, not speaking, not hearing. Hear no evil, speak no evil. And what is it? Hear no evil, speak no evil. What was the other one? Hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. Thank you. And, you know, I'm not saying that you're dealing with anything demonic, but it's just this there's this visual of someone doing all of that, one person or some side of an issue is doing that. This could be your public life. This could be in your business life. This could be, again, you know, not again, but for the first time in your reading, because I'm going to talk about it because it's topical and it's affecting all of us as a collective. This could be you dealing with your employer, Virgo. This could be, do I have a job come May the 1st? Because a lot of places are shut down here in America. A lot of places are shut down till the end of May. A lot of cities, a lot of businesses, a lot of municipal services or whatever it is. Well, not municipal services, but, you know, just a lot of things are just out of commission until the 30th. So you might be saying to your boss in whatever job you have, so what's going to happen come May? Hear no evil, speak no evil, you know, see no evil, right? Or don't speak, don't look, don't listen, right? Someone is avoiding coming out with something, being honest and forthright with something. If you're the boss, if you're the manager, if you're the business owner, and you've got, say you own a restaurant, and you've been out of commission for like a month at this point, because I'm recording this on April the 2nd. So maybe you haven't opened your restaurant doors for about a month, and you've got bills coming due. You have the lease needs to be paid, and you've got, you know, vendors that need to be paid, and you just are struggling financially. And you've got your bartenders calling you. You've got your waitresses and your hostesses calling you. You've got your head chef or your head cook calling you. So when do you think we're going to open back up? Or, you know, I'm going to apply for unemployment, and you're like, I can't do that. So whoever is not speaking, listening, or hearing, they have a lot to protect. I'll say it that way. Thank you. They have a lot to protect. Two of Swords. This is often viewed as a card of indecision, and that might be here. You might be dealing with someone who is indecisive, or you yourself might be indecisive. See, Aries, that's a slip of the tongue. Some of you might be dealing with an Aries. Virgo, you might be indecisive where the other person might be. And I mean, we're kind of seeing at least one of those things there with the band of light across this woman's eyes. Not seeing clearly, not wanting to realize, not wanting to take a deeper look or to express how they see a situation, right? Because also with the crossed swords in front of that moon, that's not expressing emotions. Moons, or every time you see a moon in tarot, is representing something emotional, or the emotional body, or some type of truth that comes from the heart. What is someone feeling deep within themselves? There's a cross on top of that. Whoever this is, they don't want to express how they're feeling, what they're thinking, what they're seeing, how they view the situation, what they understand about the situation, or in some cases what they're willing to contribute. This is also not wanting to participate with the Two of Swords. Not being able to, or not wanting to make a move. So the call is, hey, have a discussion, have a conversation, share in some honesty, share in some forthright energy, and someone's like, no, I'll pass. Either they do that very consciously with certain intent, or they do it as a protective measure because they're protecting themselves, or because of the situation at hand. Like I said, with someone who might own a business, they might not actually have the answers that you, the employee, are seeking. Will I have a job on May the 1st? I don't even know if I'm going to have a business tomorrow. Like, I have no idea. And and that's the other thing. To express that to someone is kind of, it puts you sort of in a predicament. In this specific example, it might put you in a predicament. Okay, so as the business owner, I don't know if within 2 weeks I'll still have a business. I have all this money to pay here. I have all these bills that are due over here. I've got to keep my own family afloat here. And so, you asking, will you have a paycheck? Will you have a job? I don't really know. That's not a vote of confidence that you can give to your employer or your employee, let alone your husband or wife or your kids or whoever you live with, whoever you share a home with. You see what I mean? So the uncertainty on one person's end, they might hold that in order to protect other people around them. I don't know. I don't know if that's quote unquote the right move, because what comes underneath this starting point for your reading, Virgo, is very strong to me. Talking, speaking the truth, letting the forthrightness that someone could have, letting that out, letting that take the lead, expressing doubt. And okay, could be that. To express doubt and uncertainty, which is there in the Two of Swords, to say, I don't know, I'm unsure, I don't know how I feel, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know what's coming next, I don't know how to handle this. To express those doubtful sentiments might, again, from their perspective, be more harmful than good. Is that true? If you're the employee, Virgo, and you're going to your boss saying, hey, what's going to happen with my job, come May, and if they came back and they said, well, honestly, Virgo, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't really have an answer for you. Or they might admit that maybe they're not as hopeful. Maybe they're saying, it's a chance that, we're going to have to close up shop and, come back to it later on in the year or something like that. To say that to you, the employee, might give you, I guess, the quote unquote, the excuse or the reason to go seek employment elsewhere. And they don't want to lose you. See, this Two of Swords doesn't want to lose something. Not only do they not want to express what they feel or what they think on a deep level, again, with those two swords crossing in front of the moon, right? Not only do they not want to express a deeper truth, they also don't want to risk losing something. Because all the twos involve choice. One over the other. This or that. A or B. Left or right. You must choose one of the two. Or however many options there are. And when you choose one option, you negate or you pass over the others that are left over. Yeah? So this person being told, hey, make a choice, or being encouraged, or knowing that they must choose, is also reluctant to do so because they will lose out on another option. So again, I don't know if it's gotten to this point in terms of people's finances, but there might be choices people have to make in terms of their homes. Do we file for bankruptcy because we're not going to be able to afford the mortgage and da 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 da? Do we sign up for unemployment? Do we walk away from these jobs, or or do we? I don't know what's going on, but there's like this tentative choice of if I pull the trigger on this, there's no going back. So that's literally on the board here, but that's, literally on the board for many of you. If I choose this, I can't choose the other thing because by then it's no longer an option. This person has issue, you or them, whoever it is, has issue with finality, of making solid decisions to go one way or the other and following through. And that's a conflict. They are conflicted. One side is conflicted. The other side is just waiting, I think. Or, yeah. Excuse me. Something's happening where one side is ready to, conflicted about taking a leap of faith, right? Yes. So the Fool card, right next to that Two of Swords. So here's the taking the leap of faith. Fool card. Oh, come on now. Am I going to sneeze? All right, Virgo, I apologize about that. I don't like to sneeze on camera, and not just because there's a pandemic going around, and I don't want you to think that I'm sick, because I'm not. No, but I just, I try to avoid that stuff. Anyway, so the Fool card is the secondary major arcana for Aquarius. So some of you could be dealing with an Aquarius, but you don't have to be. Leap of faith. No holds barred, no attachment, taking risks, leaping, head first into the deep end. It's an unbridled energy. It's a risk-taking energy. That somebody that's an option. Clean breaks, clean slates. Like I said, detachment from something previous, something that was standard, something that was status quo, right? The Fool has no care about the status quo because his story is not yet written. If you're unfamiliar with the tarot, the Fool is the start of the major arcanas. He's as you can see, the 0 card, starting from square one, going all the way up through to the World card, right? So going 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, etc., etc. So the status quo doesn't even exist or register to the Fool card. And that might be sort of a desire for someone out there. If we're talking about business, if we're talking about employment, some of you are just like, well, maybe the company you work for, you've only worked there a short period of time, or maybe you're not seeing great forecasts, or you're not given much confidence that you will have a job to go back to. So you might put yourself in the mindset of, well, I might as well just start looking for a new job. Or the Fool is sort of industrious, well, not industrious, is a pioneering card. It's a I could go anywhere type of energy. So maybe you've had little jobs here and there over the past 10, 15 years of your life, and you don't really have a strong affinity towards working for other people. So maybe this is the chance that you might want to start working for yourself. The Fool card would be advantageous in that respect. So whatever it is, or whoever is considering this, or feels driven to do this, it's uncanny. It's an approach to the future, to the next step, that has never been done before. Again, that energy of pioneering, because the idea is every time you go through the major arcanas, these are representing major archetypes or major phases that we have in our life, 0, 1, 2, 3, and on and so forth. And we repeat this over and over again. We all play the Fool, not a fool as in a dimwit, but the Fool as in starting over, or creating a new normal in our lives. We all do it several times in our lives. You know what I mean? You could think of it in terms of even your education. You start off in, daycare or pre-K, right? And you go all the way up into your senior year in high school. Then you might start that journey of education over and go into college or go into something vocational, right? So, and that's what this is. So someone is at the point where they could start something over. However, that involves detachment. That involves releasing what was normal or status quo from the previous phase. And that, in terms of dealing with adults, is kind of scary, especially if it's regarding your safety, your security, your finances, your profession, right? Okay, they're like, and at the home. They're like, and at home. So, you know your life and your story better than I do, Virgo, but there is this sense of things are up in the air. Things are possibly in a position to be rewritten in some type of way, and that is disturbing or unsettling, or it makes someone nervous, might shut someone down completely, or puts them in a position of, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. There is a nudge somewhere within that person, if they're the one being affected by the Fool card, or they're meant to be aligned in that energy. It's connected to them in some way, but they are resistant to it. The nudge is there. It comes from the divine. It comes from a higher source because it is a major arcana. But anything in life, my friends, whether it's affecting you or affecting someone else, is a matter of choice. And for now, I'm getting the sense of whoever is involved, this Fool card is not being taken up on its offer. Same way the Ace of Swords is not being taken up on its offer. It's out here. It's available. It's a possibility. It is an option. But as we discussed with the Two of Swords, no options are being chosen at this time. That might be music to your ears. That might sound incredibly infuriating to you. You might be shocked to know that people are choosing things behind. Oh, see, I almost said that. So I will say it because they're like, go ahead and say it. Someone might be choosing something behind your back. Again, especially, well, not especially, but if it's your boss is like choosing whether or not to reopen the restaurant, reopen the store, continue with whatever they're doing, or based on their financial obligations and whatever is going on in their life, they might have to shut this business down, which then means you don't have a job. But they're not going to tell you that, or they haven't told you that, or they haven't clued you in the first of that being even a possibility. So there's someone here who has no idea that this is a possibility. And someone else is very aware that it's a possibility in business, in the home, in relationships, in friendships, whatever we're talking about. Wow. So this Fool card and the Ace of Swords, I think, are really like these invitations to do something different, to approach the situation in a way that it's not been approached before, to show up and get involved in a way that has never been considered before. And that is not really, someone doesn't believe they can do that. Someone doesn't believe they can do that. Yeah. Okay. There's a sense of loyalty that I sense here. There's a sense of loyalty I sense. Oh my God. Anyway, there's a sense of loyalty here. Blind faith is another thing that they're giving me. And I'm caught between these two. So where are we going? Loyalty. Yeah, thank you. I figured it would be this, but I wanted to be sure. So Queen of Pentacles, Earth sign, energy, Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus. Ooh, how did I say Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus? That's not usually the order I say it in. I'm usually like pretty, predictable in the way I say things. But anyway, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, there you go. Either way, whatever way, the Earth signs. You're here, or you could be dealing with a fellow Earth sign, or, they could be strong in other people's charts. It really doesn't matter. It's a general. But loyalty. Loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. Queen of Pentacles, a nurturer. Someone who takes care of business, takes care of the bottom line. Male or female, doesn't matter. But I sense that here's someone who sticks with the plan, sticks with sort of the status quo. I'm not going to say like the Queen of Pentacles is a stick in the mud. No, that's not really the point. I'm not going to say that this person isn't adaptable. That's not even true. But this person is relying on what can be what is seen, what is observable right now. She's got a big pentacle in her hand, so there might be a focus on money. So if this is about a domestic situation between, a husband and a wife, or, a wife and wife, or, two people sharing a space, whatever it is, someone might literally look at the books and say, okay, we've got XYZ, this amount in the banking account, in the checking account. This is how much the mortgage is. This is how much we pay on the car note. This is how much we pay for XYZ, XYZ, XYZ. And based on this person's calculations, full steam ahead with the program as is, or there's no reason to rock the boat. Let's say that. So the drastic measures, or the drastic turn, or the big upheaval that the Fool and a little bit that the Ace of Swords calls to, this person doesn't see that, or they wouldn't see it if they're not aware. Because that's the other part of this. This could be two sides of a situation, and they're not really thinking in the same terms, or they're not expressing the same sentiments, right? The Queen of Pentacles is like, okay, well, it's going to be hard, but we can make it work, right? Definitely with the Queen of Pentacles, again, that loyalty factor, we can make this work. we can work this out. We can work towards this goal commonly together. There's no reason to change the protocol, right? And someone else is possibly volleying between the Fool card and the Ace of Swords, and feeling like the Two of Swords most days, right? So this is a lot of potential upheaval here in this corner, right? A lot of weighing up the options of change and walking down a new path and sort of doing things in an unprecedented manner, or doing things in an experimental manner even, right? Taking risks with the Fool card, being truthful and honest, and possibly speaking a truth that has never been spoken before, but then also feeling conflicted. That's a lot of busy shit. That's a lot of conflicting energy. That's a lot going on over there. Not much going on over here. Queen of Pentacles is just like, everything's fine the way it is. There's no reason to panic. And that makes sense too. We're in the middle of a pandemic. A lot of people are not sure what they're going to do. And someone else is just like cool as a cucumber, not really bothered, or not really seeing a need to panic. If we think about this logically, if we think about this in practicalities, everything is taken care of. And again, big emphasis on the money, because her hand is holding on to that giant pentacle. So someone who might be out of a job, someone who's worried about the future of their job, this other person who lives in the house or is a friend, it could be, an advisor, you don't have to cohabitate. That's not like, it must be. But whoever the Queen of Pentacles is, they're looking at the bottom line and they're saying, okay, well, based on my calculations, if you pay this much for that and this much for the other thing and this much over here, you're going to have this much left over. There's nothing to worry about. There's no reason to panic. There's no reason to, apply for financial aid, unemployment. There's no reason to cash in your 401k, let it stay where it is, blah, 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 blah. This person is just being level-headed. And again, this aspect of loyalty, because they don't see a reason to panic, there's no reason to change it. Therefore, let's stick with the plan. Let's be loyal to what we agreed upon, or what is expected of us. Expected of us. Aha. Okay. Expected of us. Fool has no expectations. Fool is at the beginning of a journey and therefore has nothing to expect, or nothing to really lose, quote unquote, lose. Queen of Pentacles, court card, is a master of the Pentacles suit, has a fair amount to lose, has built themselves to a point financially secure in terms of their security, in terms of how they feel about their physical health or their wellness. This person has plenty to lose. Therefore, they don't want to take risks, or they don't see the need to take risks. And they're comfortable. That's the other thing about the kings and the queens. They're comfortable, right? Fool, Ace of Swords, and the Two of Swords, not so comfortable. So again, you could be friends with this person. You could be the boss and you're comfortable. This could be your employee and they're not so comfortable. Or you can flip that. You could be the employee who has saved their money, who has squirreled away lots of money, and your employer could be, feeling like a fish out of water, like they're choking on air because they don't know how they're going to take care of themselves financially. But you, possibly living alone, no kids, no other, no incredible debt to speak of, you may have been very smart and savvy with your money. So you might be out of a job. This is just a possibility. You might be out of a job due to everything that's going on across the globe and the impact it has on the economic sector. But if you have done smart moves, you might be sitting pretty. I've saved enough money where I don't have to worry about my bills and my rent for at least 3 months. So you're not as worried as somebody who is running a business, has to pay their employees, has to pay for their health care, is possibly looking at turning and going towards bankruptcy, or, for God's sakes, just picking up and jetting out of town. Who knows, right? So it can go all the ways. I just wanted to illustrate that. So I sense that someone is really considering a jump off point or disconnecting from something. And someone else is just like, everything is fine the way it is. And they are loyal to it. possibly to a fault. Yep, possibly to a fault. They're like, you're correct. Because it's the Pentacles, related to earth energy, related to just slow growth. It's not a dynamic energy, Pentacles. Okay, you leave that to the air and or you leave that to the wands and the swords, air and fire. Those are the two dynamic, more quick fire energies, right? Pentacles being slow, not to insult anybody, not to call anybody out here and blame them, but there is possibly a sense that this person is too loyal, too trusting, feeling too comfortable where they are, and not really being ready for possible changes, possible upheaval. And that is, again, possibly, if this is some type of partnership or some type of connection of significance, where the other side is weighing out their options and this person doesn't even know that. And again, listen to, I hope you're able to hear, even though I know the quality is not great, my voice has changed. Again, my throat, see, there it is. My throat chakra is being affected. Every time I talk about a possibility that there is a disconnection coming off of these three cards, my throat, all my senses are affected. Let's say the hearing, the speaking, and the seeing, right? So the more I talk about this, the more you want to talk about this, the more the other person wants to talk about this, it makes someone else uncomfortable and it makes someone else shut down. So what else happens? So not much. I don't mean to laugh. But literally not much happens, because this is, for lack of a better word, kind of a stalemate, or an unrecognized stalemate, maybe. Because what I sense is strongly the Two of Swords isn't going anywhere. There are pulls and there are nudges to speak, to act, to change, but the decision is no go. Not gonna even entertain it. Exactly. Not gonna entertain it. Knight of Cups in reverse. Not entertaining it. I'll show you this card upright so you can get a better look at it. So water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. You could be dealing with a water sign, but you don't have to be. But in the reverse. So not a lot of action. No true movement. Knights always indicate movement, progression, right? Some type of journeying, some type of getting out and being involved in something. So that could be, nail on the head. Everybody's in quarantine, or a good portion of us are in quarantine, I should say. And so it could be because of the lack of movement someone can do in their physical life. They feel kind of tied, or they feel kind of stuck, like, oh, that's sad. They're showing me, God, I can see it. What's the name of that movie? The Never-Ending Story, where Atreyu, his horse gets stuck in the mud and the horse dies, right? Like, for those, spoiler alert in case you've never seen that movie, sorry. But for those in my age bracket, born in the 80s, hey, there is literally this feeling of the momentum and the movement and the progress that a horse gives to a person is stuck in the mud, not able to get out, either by choice or by circumstance, what have you. Now, the fact that it's cups speaks to someone's emotional stuckness, emotionally not able to get traction, mired, bogged down, and or discombobulated. Okay? I think, yes, thank you, because this is air, right? Because it's attached to the Fool card, and Aquarius is an air sign. So air. Mentally speaking, this person is all up in their head, which means emotionally they're all bogged down. This person is having all of the problems with getting aligned emotionally, mentally, They are not able to make sense of their own thoughts, their own emotions. They're not able to express it. That's the other thing with the Knight of Cups. When he's in the upright, he or she, please don't think that, it has to be a male because I said he. But whoever this person is, when the Knight of Cups is in the upright, it's an expression of emotions, an expression of love. It's clear what this person feels. They have no problem giving out their emotions, giving out their affection to other people. When it's in reverse, that is not happening. There isn't an exchange going on because, again, the horse is in the mud and the knight can't go anywhere without his horse, right? So there's no going anywhere in terms of being open with what this person is feeling. They might be kind of cold and detached. The Knight of Cups in the reverse isn't necessarily the nicest person to be around. They might be very sulky. They might be very despondent or detached, aloof. They are just not in the correct headspace or heart space to be all kind of pleasant to be around. They might be an energy, I don't want to say energy vampire because that has connotations, but they might be a Debbie Downer. There we go. They might be a Debbie Downer right now. Someone might have good news in the day, or they suddenly wake up, day 22 of the quarantine, and they wake up, someone else wakes up and they're like, oh man, today's going to be a good day. This person comes into the room. What's so good about it? We're still under quarantine. We still can't go anywhere. What are you talking about? It's not a good day, and they're just being honest with how, ironically, with how they feel, because they're bogged down by the quarantine. They don't know what to do with their head or their heart. They're all kinds of confused or confuddled or whatever. And when they do express something, it's not tender. When you have the Knight of Cups in the upright, it's a tender energy. It's very loving. It's very embraceable or warm. When it's in the reverse, it's very cold. Ha! It's like a cold, wet, or cold, dead fish, right? All right? Because that also could be going on here. Knight of Cups is known to be kind of a romantic energy when he's in the upright. When he's in the reverse, that is not going down. That's, not to say that's in all of your cases, but that's a possibility where if this is about, even though it's not really, I'm not sensing it here, like it's not the main part of the reading, but if this was a romantic connection you have with a person, whether you're dating, married, bit on the side, whatever it is, there is no physical action happening here. There's no sexual. If it is, it's different. If it is, it's a little, again, it's a little cold, dead fish right now. Whereas maybe before it wasn't like that. And that makes sense. That's not an indicator that something is, doomsday for the relationship. No, that is related to how someone is feeling about themselves, or feeling within themselves, I should say, not about themselves. Oh, well, okay, they're like, yeah, maybe about themselves. But this is how, because of that combination of the Fool, the Two of Swords, and the Ace of Swords, that's not putting anybody in the mood. If I'm honest, it's not. So you're going to get a little cold, dead fish for a minute if you're looking to hook up with this person. But ultimately what I'm sensing is no progress. This person is in stasis, heavily with that Two of Swords, heavily. But the pull, the call to do something different is very strong. The Fool and the Ace of Swords, very strong. This can only go on for so long. Eventually there will be something that breaks, something that calls out. Because I told you in the beginning with that Ace of Swords, it's like a brick, like a cinder block hitting this person on the head, day in, day out. Eventually something will break. And then, here we go. Eight of Cups. What is the break? Emotional dissatisfaction could be the break, or this could be the result of whatever happens, once the break is acknowledged. Yeah. And I'm saying the break as in like the epiphany. right? The moment where this person can't sit in silence anymore, or this person can't avoid a choice anymore, right? So 8 of Cups, emotional dissatisfaction, emotional, you know, we've given it, we've put in a lot here. 8s talk about, well, it's not an evaluation. It's realizing there's more to the story than, or there's more to have here than what we have. Something like that. There's more to gain. Thank you. There's more to gain elsewhere, or there's more to gain through different means and ways. What we've accumulated so far, the 8 cups, it's been good, but now it's not good enough. Or now it's no longer gonna satisfy the way it did, you know, yesterday or 2 weeks ago or 2 years ago, whatever it was, right? So this is the realization for someone else that, or whoever this is for. It could be you, the other person could be both of you, I don't know. Could be 15 people, it doesn't matter. But at some point there's this realization of something is better elsewhere, or there's a better way to get to a point of feeling contentment and happiness and fulfillment, right? The eight of cups seeks the 9 and 10 of cups. It's like this going on a journey. As you can see, he's got his walking stick. He's looking out over the landscape. There's this intention to make moves, to go elsewhere, to do something differently, to experience something else, to, again, going back to possibly it being related to a job. You know, maybe somebody has owned a restaurant for, 30 years. And as much as other people are relying on that job or want to see you continue it, if you don't want to do it anymore, you don't want to do it anymore. If you've worked the job for 2 years, 3 years, 6 years, whatever, and you feel somewhat loyal to your employer, but you realize I have enough to sustain myself as I seek something else. Possibly for some of you, that Queen of Pentacles could be your loyalty towards your employer, your loyalty towards the company that you work for. But in these trying times, in these times of upheaval and sudden change or radical change as embodied by the Fool, you might say, okay, I've saved enough money, and maybe my calling is elsewhere. Maybe my emotional contentment is elsewhere. For a while I felt good doing this job, and I felt, stable and able to care for myself or care for myself and my family, whatever, but it's not gonna, at this moment, I can make a change. At this moment, I can take a walk onto a new path. So somebody or somewhere in this mix, that's a possibility, to walk on a new path. Someone might be resistant to it, or someone might be fearful of making that first step on their own new journey. It's going to go in so many different ways. It's general, guys, okay? But ultimately, the 8 of Cups is like, there's more. There's more to what I have in the moment. There's more for me out there. I have to go and see it. Now, is that pulling on the 2 of Swords person? Is that affecting them? Is that affecting or pulling on the Queen of Pentacles person? It could be either or both. I really can't tell. It's a mixed bag for everybody. But I'm telling you, the 8 of Cups, the Fool, the Ace of Swords, all 3 are talking about momentum, are talking about step after step after step, moving forward, right? Getting to a state of clarity, getting to this point of understanding that I can do something differently going forward. I can change the thing completely. And my motivation is because I'm not happy here where I am, or it's not enough where I am. And the other motivation is I got to be truthful with myself. I got to be truthful with the people I'm doing business with, whatever. The other side, or the other factor here, is resistance, feeling stuck, and being loyal, possibly to a fault. The hell is going on, Virgo? It's a lot. Clearly, it's a lot. Now, your outcome for April is 6 of Cups. Excuse me. Look at those cat. Look at that cat. This is like the first time I've really looked at that cat. Some of you guys have a cat, particularly an orange cat, and it is a nosy cat. Look at that guy, just staring right at us through. Is your cat staring at you through the blinds or some type of curtain? Cute. Anyway, regardless if you have a cat or not, Six of Cups is about nostalgic energy, calling back towards childhood. You might have, a long-term connection with someone that is significant to you, a relative, a sibling, a brother, sibling, brother, same thing, a sibling, a childhood friend, whatever it is. Or you just have children yourself, and they're somehow factored into this. But this as an outcome is giving me sort of a recollection or an acknowledgement of the emotions and the tenderness and the care that we have towards something historical in our lives, right? So again, looking fondly back on your childhood or the connection you have with someone from the past. Not they are from the past, but like how you guys were before, similar to that Eight of Cups energy, where, pardon me, you realize up until a certain point, the Eight of Cups was satisfactory. It was sufficient. But there's a turning point with the aces, or with the eights. They're all about change, right? Eights are about change related to eighth house issues, and Scorpio rules eighth house. So why am I telling you that? But anyway, in the eighth house, it's death and rebirth, right? Change, aka change. So the eights always talk about some type of change. What has happened so far, and what are we going to do going forward, and how are we going to implement something different? How are we going to evolve? How are we going to, embrace some type of change or some type of different protocol or participation? Yeah. And so I think that's kind of what's going on here regarding a situation, a connection. Excuse me. An attitude or perception of how things were, and paying homage to it, not disregarding it. I think that there's a lot of honor. The word I'm getting is honor and respect towards this Six of Cups, but ultimately, okay. There's a chance that 6 cycles, right? 6 cycles and 6 balance. Thank you. There's a potential that something needs to be balanced from the past. Something needs to be set right, or there needs to be, again, there just might need to be some type of discussion regarding a relationship you have with someone that you've known for a long time. And there might be a need to respectfully, excuse me, notice again, because what I'm about to say has been tickling up in my throat, but it's not been allowed to come out, to end it. And that's not for everybody. Number one, this is not a spread. If you know anything about the tarot, this isn't a spread about hardcore endings like a tower, like the death card, like the 10 of swords or the 10 of wands, right? You've got softball endings. You have potential endings. And if not endings, things being rewritten, things being done differently going forward. So it doesn't have to be a total end. So again, notice my throat and how it's being affected when I'm talking in these very drastic terms. Somebody doesn't want to speak or think in those terms. Fine, don't. You don't have to. But notice how it was affecting me, okay? So this Six of Cups could talk about people bidding adieu to what was. Because again, the Six of Cups can talk about nostalgic ways of viewing a circumstance, thank you, a circumstance, nostalgic ways of viewing a relationship, If I were to apply this to my own situation, yes, it was great when I was like 8 years old. I had no responsibilities in the world. All I had to do was go to school, which I did do, but I wasn't great at it. And that's like 30 some years ago for me. If I were to romanticize my 8-year-old self and think like that was the bread and butter of my life and that was the golden age of my life, I am setting myself up for a rocky road, because you can't hold on to the past, or you can't romanticize something and how it was in the past and carry it forward all the time. There's an thank you. Someone has an attachment to this idyllic. I mean, look at this. This looks so pleasant. These two kids playing in the garden with these flowers and these cups. You got a little rascally little cat there in the foreground. Like, there's nothing displeasant or unpleasant. Thank you, not displeasant. Unpleasant about this card. The look of it. Like, unless you have like allergies, this really shouldn't put you off. So this attachment to what was is holding the situation back, is holding, and it's a holding pattern. It's a holding pattern. It's static. It's like freeze frame. And when you have a freeze, God, they're showing me so many things. So they're showing me a static image, a frozen picture. Like if I did this, and I'm not very good at staying still, but you see what I mean? It's not like it's like pausing a video. It's like pausing a movie. They're showing me thank you. They're showing me movies that I've seen where people like I can't think of the name of that one. Oh, that's the name of it. And I've never even seen this movie, but I know the premise of it. I think it's called Blast from the Past. Alicia Silverstone and Brendan Fraser, I think. And one of them lives in a bunker. And they've lived there since like the 50s or some shit like that. And they come out and it's like the 90s or something and it's like all different. Or you could think of it even as something like Back to the Future, where there's this crystallized time in someone's mind with this Six of Cups. Yours, theirs, both of you, who knows? There's a crystallized moment in someone's memory where we had it made. Archie Bunker, Edith Bunker. Those were the days. Okay, sure. Like I said, when I was 8, I had it made. All I had to do was go to school. Didn't even have to do my own hair. Didn't have to pick out my own clothes. Didn't have a goddamn job to go to every day. No, and that's me. Me talking about my own life. It was easy. My mom was in charge of me. My brother is older than me, so he was taking care of me sometimes. I had it made. Now I got to take care of myself. I got to do my own laundry. I got to pay my own way in this world. Boo. It's no sense being attached to something temporally that doesn't exist anymore. I'm not 8. I'm much older than that. You see? So there's something here where someone is like thinking of how it was then, and they want it to be like how it was then, and you can't have it be how it was then. That could be thinking about this job. It was cool 2 months ago. It was cool at the beginning of 2020. I had a job. I was going to work every day. I was making good money. Come March, I don't have a job. What's the point of romanticizing January 2020 or any time before that when you had this job and you were secure? I understand the emotional attachment because it is cups. You just emotionally feel, oh man, I wish it was like that again. But let's get real here. Ace of Swords. Let's get real. Let's move on because, I'm a chatterbox. So I hope you get what I'm saying. That as a result, that as the outcome is showing me that it's a holding pattern. It's static energy. Let me put this down for a second and finish that thought out. This is where someone is wanting to stay, you, them, both of you, who knows? And I'm telling you, I get it. I sympathetically get it, but it's not realistic. This is not reality. Those two kids playing in the field, they're not going to be like that forever. You might be looking at, old, photo albums of your family. Oh, it was so great when this was. Or you might be looking over your pay stubs. Oh, it was so good when I was making that good money every 2 weeks. Now I've been out of a job for a month. That mustn't, what's the point? Deal with reality. What's going on now? This is not a now card. The Six of Cups is not a what's going on now card. It's about what happened back then and being very, 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 very enthusiastic about it or feeling very, very emotionally attached to it. You can do that for a while because sympathetically I understand that. I love reminiscing. Life was good when I was 8. I'm telling you. It was great. But what's the point in me thinking about that all the time? There's no point. There would be no point in the long run. It would not behoove me to continue to do that. So moving on. Overall energy. King of Swords. Excuse me. Air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So here we go. let's be smart about it. That's them. That's not me. Let's be smart about this. Like, they're being kind of harsh today, my guides, but that's okay. I've kind of asked them to up the ante with me as a reader. But anyway, let's get down to business. Let's be smart about this. King of Swords, an evaluator, an analytical mind. Could be you, could be someone else. I don't know. And they don't have to be an air sign, and it doesn't have to be a male. All right, it could be anybody, any gender, any ethnicity, any zodiac sign. It does not matter. But there's an analysis. Thank you. This whole situation needs to be given proper analysis, proper evaluation, and there needs to be a plan devised. You know, the King of Swords is a strategist. Like, if this was a game of chess, this guy would be really good at it. And I don't play chess. I mean, I know the basics, but I don't have any strategy myself. Anybody could come off the street and probably whoop my ass in a game of chess. But this person right here, masterful at that game, masterful at seeing down the line, seeing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps ahead. Yeah. So overall, Virgo, you, someone else, everybody involved, whoever, this is a very helpful energy to get on your side, because there is this evoking energy of change here. Ace of Swords, Two of Swords, the Fool, change. 8 of Cups even, change. It's pending. And as it is pending, someone is or should be doing proper evaluation and analysis of what is going to work going forward. What is the plan that we can devise that we can execute later when the time is right, so that X, Y, Z works out, so that A, B, C does this, that, and the other. Whatever your intention is, whatever their intention is, the pair of you together, the group of you, whatever it is, someone has to evaluate it, and they either are or they should. I'll say it that way, because some secretly are doing it, quietly are doing it. Others avoiding it, and they should not avoid it. But we're all individuals. We all make our individual free will choices. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Virgo, that is your reading for April 2020. 2020. If you liked it, the like button is down below. Go ahead and hit that for me. You can leave a comment. Let me know how this resonated in your life. I love reading comments. It helps me out as a tarot reader. It lets me know I'm kind of in the ballpark here, and maybe I'm getting some things right. So if you want to share your stories, share your insights, that would be great. You can also share the video, let other people know what's going on in your life via this great video that I've produced for you today. And if you have not subscribed and you're thinking about it, why don't you just go ahead and do it? It's a little red button right below this video or somewhere on the screen. I will, excuse me, when you are subscribed, of course, you'll see in your notifications when I upload new content. For you, Virgo, I have the, excuse me, mid-April readings coming, and then the May readings. I'm thinking about making some new content, a new series, and introducing it to the channel. I'm working that out with my guides. We're gonna puzzle it out together, and so if I premiere that anytime soon, you will be one of the first to know if you are a subscriber and your notifications are on, okay? If you do want the reading, it's down in the description box. Go ahead and check that out. And again, over on Instagram, it is EmpathicFire Tarot if you want to follow me for that daily oracle reading. All right, Virgo, thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Take care.